Hello truckers, and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We are continuing our career mode in the International Lonestar, painted in international orange, just so you know. We currently have a mobile barrier going from Ketchum, Idaho to Idaho Falls, and it looks like the load is going to take us 3.5 hours of in-game time, which should be about 15 to 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and get this big thing on the road. Helps if I put it in drive. And get our steering camera turned back on so we can actually see what we're doing. We'll pull out as far as we can because this one was kind of stuck behind a bunch of a few loads over there. So I just want to make sure we're plenty clear so we can get out of here without any issues, any crashes, any of that kind of ridiculousness. As we get started, let me remind you, for those of you who enjoy the video, to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm is helping me out, and subscribe to the channel if you're particularly interested in what you're seeing here. If you've been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, or you're just coming in and you like what you see, click that subscribe button so you can continue getting videos. I do publish videos daily, so you will get a video every single day. And I also have several different games that I'm playing, so be sure to check out the other stuff that I have, the Elite Dangerous content, the hunting content, all of that stuff. And yeah, should have a little bit of something for everybody. I also have channel memberships available, so if you've been watching the channel for a while and you'd like to help support me as a content creator, there are a few tiers available there as well. You can click that join button down at the bottom and you know, decide if any of those are right for you. Generally though, these videos are mostly just me talking as I drive down through the road. It seems to be some of my more popular content, especially for the Elite Dangerous stuff. Not exactly sure why, but I don't know. You guys seem to enjoy the talking stuff. I know I'm blocking the... Okay, stop please. So, as I say in several of my episodes, I have an issue because I'm using a flight yoke system instead of a steering wheel for driving like this, because I'm trying to get as close to the realistic experience as I can, but I don't have a steering wheel, and this flight yoke is the closest thing that I have to that kind of a setup. And that means that I'm using the toe brakes for my rudder pedals as my pedals for gas and brake on here. So I have two different things that are kind of making it weird. First and foremost is the fact that I'm using rudder pedal toe brakes as my pedals, and they don't exactly have any kind of resistance on them. So where you would normally press the brake and have some kind of increasing resistance, I don't have that. So I end up having to kind of just fish around for the correct setting. And since I only do this once a day, I never really get the muscle memory down for how that's supposed to feel. And then the other side is that I'm having to use my left foot for braking because rudder pedals are intended to be used with both feet, and they're spread apart too far for me to be able to just kind of easily switch back and forth with my right foot. So yeah, kind of a weird setup. I think that at some point I will try to come up with some kind of adapter that will allow me to have two regularly sized pedals that are kind of next to each other that somehow manipulate each of the rudder pedals. And it would be really cool if I could figure out a way to make it so that I get some kind of actual resistance, so that way I can actually press realistically hard and the brakes will work as I expect them to, instead of the kind of weird way that it works now. I have to make sure that this load, which is actually kind of extra long, I have to make sure I always take extra wide turns when I'm turning towards the left, because it will cause issues running into the oncoming traffic lane if I do not make sure I'm taking those extra wide turns. Speed limit bumped up to 55, so I'll push the cruise control back up. I try to drive with the cruise control as much as I can, especially since I don't really have a realistic setup as far as my throttle goes, because obviously the throttle is just as bad as the brakes when it comes to... Oops, we need to slow down. The throttle is just as bad as the brakes when it comes to feedback with the feeling that I'm getting in my feet. So I have to make sure that I'm taking every precaution that I can to prevent like overspeeding and getting to the exact speed that I want to be. And the cruise control does a pretty good job at that for the most part. So ideally, the only time I really have to mess with my pedals is when I'm coming to a stop, and then that initial acceleration, I can pop the cruise control on, and then... Was that a loan installment? I think that was a loan installment. I have my traffic penalties turned off because a couple of the things that happen when you have them turned on are really unreasonable. I keep getting tickets when I turn right on red, and I'm allowed to do that, which is, you know, that's really annoying. And then sometimes the AI will have a spaz out moment and will just crash into you for no reason, and you still get charged for that even though it wasn't your fault. So I decided to just turn it off, but I'll still behave as if I would get a ticket. Yeah, I don't have a stop sign. You do. How about you let me make my turn here? We'll swing out, keep it swung out to the right, so that we don't bring that trailer too far into the oncoming traffic lane, and then continue down the road. Reset our. Looks like 65 is the speed limit on this road. So hopefully the road. I'm really hoping that this road is going to be not too windy, so we can actually keep that 65 speed up. I find that the speed limits out here are much more aligned to cars, it seems like, because you'll have a speed limit of 65 miles an hour, but then the twisty turny roads out here are very difficult to drive at that speed when you're driving a big truck like this. I imagine part of that is just the fact that I'm using a flight yoke, which doesn't exactly turn like a real steering wheel. It's much more like a controller than it is like a steering wheel, but I'm making it work, and it works out pretty well. It feels more realistic than the controller that I use. So, you know, it works. Down to 2.5 hours already. Speed limit's dropping to 55. As I drift into the other lane, I'm trying to really make sure I don't do that. Oh, dropping down to 35, it looks like. I'll preempt it by going down to 45, so that way, by the time we get to the 35, we can slow down. And then, it says there's a stop sign up here. We're definitely going to be turning to the left here. Okay, that makes sense. So, we'll get stopped. Like I said, I know I have the traffic violations turned off, but I am going to be driving as if I have them turned on. California stop. California rolling stop. Okay, so the speed limit here is 25. We'll let the cruise control maintain that. I think the minimum cruise control speed might be like 20. Not really sure. Yeah, it's 20. Let's bump this up to 35 since they're letting us now. And we'll make our way around this relatively sharp turn. Should be enough room for me to stay in my lane, and the trailer will only kind of go off the shoulder there a little bit. It is a pretty long trailer back there. Speed limit is now 55. All right, I like it when it jumps up higher. So generally, I just kind of babble as I go, hoping to stumble across a subject that I'm interested in. I know that the subjects that I end up being interested in are the ones that are more interesting to listen to. But there's been so much going on with the actual drive here that I haven't really had time to... Oop, we definitely want to slow down for this. See what I mean? Like every time I start getting on towards actually talking a little bit, I have something that happens that breaks my attention. So I generally just kind of ramble as I drive, hoping to come across a topic that makes sense to talk about. Not really sure what the goal is for this series, other than I decided I wanted to just kind of start driving the truck sim again, and if I'm going to do that, I might as well make videos out of it. Yeah, we had to slow down. We had to slow down. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. These roads are the speed limit's 65, but then they have these roads that basically require you to come down to like 40 or something like that, because you're not turning through these as you go. But look at that. Nice little scenic overlook, but it said it was. I am drifting into the other lane, as you can see in the mirror there, but I'm trying not to. Looks like we're going to have another intersection, and have a bad feeling based off of the what the map is showing us up there, that we have a bunch of turns coming up, either in a city or, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a city area that we're having to drive through. Lots of slowdowns for this, but not necessarily the most terrible thing in the world, because it means it's going to keep the video from being too long or too short. Because if it was too short and I try to grab another load, we're going to be up in like the 35-40 minute range for a video. Again, those of you who watch these videos regularly, please let me know what you find an acceptable length for these videos to be. I don't mind going over my personal limit of 30 minutes if you guys are actually going to watch it. But I personally find that, 30 minutes, when I see 30 minutes on a video duration, I'm like, I don't know that I want to watch this video. That's a long time. That's a long time to commit. 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. When you see 2 in front of the number, that for me personally, that's a pretty reasonable amount of time to commit to, sitting down to watch a video. Even if I'm watching a series of videos, if I'm watching through somebody's playlist, if their videos are between 20 and 30 minutes, I'm much more likely to sit and watch a bunch, even a bunch of their videos, because I know I have a really good. They have a really good interval for their videos, so that if I start a video, I know, oh, I'm good for the next 20 minutes, and then if something comes up, I'm not gonna feel like I have to sit here and finish watching another hour and a half of a really long video. So I don't know. Personally, for me, I find that I like to watch videos that are between 20 and 30 minutes, and I have to imagine that people who watch content like this are probably about the same. So I would turn my turn signal on, but I have the turn signal camera activated. Let's make sure we're not going to run into traffic here. I'm going to give myself as much room as I can to get that trailer around without going on the curb. Because even though it's a video game and it doesn't really matter, I do try to adhere to realism where I can. Get our cruise control set up to 35 and move on. So we're good on fuel. I didn't think to check my sleepiness. Yeah, we're going to have to sleep after this next one. Hopefully it doesn't take us too much longer to get there. We're going to get some yawning happening pretty soon. But as long as I turned off the traffic violations, so I don't know if I don't know if that counts for the fatigue simulation or not. So 55 through here. We have a sharp turn coming up, so I'm probably going to want to pay attention to that. Usually when you need to slow down, they'll put a little caution sign over there and letting you know how fast you need to be going. So if I can pay attention to that and catch it before we get up to the turn, then I will be able to use the cruise control to drop down to that. What does it say? It says 50 miles an hour, so I'll drop it to 50. Why not? Just so we can make sure we're not yanking everything around too hard. And then the speed limit is 70 now. We'll see if we can actually get up to that. I have a feeling that driving on these roads back here, doing 70 around some of these turns is probably pretty unreasonable, but we'll see. Well, especially when you have these trucks that are just driving really slow. Or is that a bus? I think that's a bus. It's the first time in real life these kinds of buses are doing 10 over the speed limit like all the cars. They yank through these things really fast. I'd like to get around them, but it's a single lane and we are not afforded the opportunity to pass here. Really hoping that we don't get stopped by a railroad crossing. Alright. So yeah, it'd be nice if this bus got out of our way so we could get up to speed. Realistically, I could go around him with no penalty, but we're trying to follow the law here. Oh, was that a way station? Okay. Ugh, I also had that turned off, so I'm not going to get penalized for missing way stations, but I'm still going to try to make sure I grab them when I see them. It usually has this like high-pitched beep at you when you do it. Oh, he took off. I was so busy trying to look for the way station, I didn't realize that he actually sped up. Seems like the turns here are shallow enough that doing 70 should be okay, but I don't know. We'll have to do a couple of turns and see how they feel. It'd be nice to be able to just I mean, we're down to 30 minutes on our drive now. So ideally, this is only going to be a 20-minute video, which is, you know, right there at my acceptable minimum. All right, we're going down to 45 now. Or at least something said. I saw something that said 45. I thought the speed limit changed to 45. I don't know what happened there. Am I crazy? Did it say 40? Didn't it say 45 for like a second? All right, so this is Idaho Falls. That is definitely our destination. Not sure how much further we have to drive. How much farther we have to drive into Idaho Falls to get where we're going. So yeah, we're slowing down to 55. And I'm glad that our route is taking us past a question mark instead of making us have to go off in a different direction. I would like to get past this bus. He seems to be driving much... Okay, he's turning left here. That's good. Because I want to get it... We have a left turn coming up here. And I want to get over as soon as I can, so I'm not having to fight traffic to do it. Now I want some IHOP or McDonald's. Ooh, KFC. KFC would be good. So what do we got here? Staffing agency. Oh, yeah. Oh, red light. That's what I get for looking around and sightseeing. So we need to get up here, get on the freeway, and then I imagine we're going to have an exit pretty soon, because it says we're only 11 minutes away from our destination. Alright. And then, because this is not an articulated load, I have to imagine they're probably going to have us back it into something, which is going to be fun, because it's a very long trailer. Alright, let's get over here. I had to like feather the brakes because I don't have any kind of feedback. I don't have any. There's zero resistance other than just the very basic spring that resets it once you let it go. I would imagine that more premium versions of rudder pedals probably have a more realistic brake feel, but I don't know. I hope this lets me turn left. It's not gonna make me sit and wait for the train. I have a bad feeling it's going to make us sit and wait. Don't you hate it when that happens? But at least we'll be able to watch the train go by. Trains are cool. Look at that. I like this mod that allows me to have the real company names on there. It's more fun when you have actual company names that you recognize. At least this load isn't super heavy, though. It's long, but it's not super heavy. I'm having no problems with accelerating with this thing. Even pulling this up the hill. It's very, very light compared to, say, a big heavy tractor or something. Some of the other loads that we've had that have been big and long have also been very heavy, and that just adds to the complexity, which is, you know, it makes it more fun. I'm not complaining. I'm just, you know, excuse me. It's nice when you have a load that is just, you know, only has one layer of complexity sometimes, being able to just only have to deal with the length and not having to struggle hauling it up the hill. Oh, there we go with the yawning. I'll have to make sure that I find a parking spot after we drop this off, and obviously I'll say goodbye to you guys before I do that, but... Alright, so I need to make sure I'm very wide here, so that I can avoid hitting the car with the trailer. Looks like we barely missed him. And then as we get up here to our right turn, I'll encroach in the other lane to make sure that we have enough space to turn to the right, with hopefully without going over the curb. No, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is what I'm talking about. That right there. That would have easily been an accident if I hadn't been paying attention, and then I would have been charged because he decided to pull out in front of me. Hopefully, oh, yeah, I had a feeling there was a truck coming. So we're just gonna have to deal with going over the curb there. It is what it is. It's only a little bit, not too bad. And then we'll swing out wide again, and hopefully there won't be any cars coming. Sweet. All right. So we'll get this load dropped off. I'll say goodbye to you guys, and then off camera I'll go find a parking spot so that I can advance time, or sleep, get that stuff done, and advance time. So where does it want us to drop this off, though? It says truck's delivery to the left. So I'm guessing we have to go this way. Does it want us to drop this off? Or is it in a... Okay. So we might be able to just pull through on this one. Yeah, it looks like we might be able to just pull through. I think I can just swing around and just pull it straight in. That's convenient. All right, so let's just do that then. That's much easier than having to back it in. I don't mind backing when we have to, but if we can just pull it straight through, why would we not just do it that way? All right, so we'll swing out wide. Where's that one there? We gotta make sure we're nice and wide so that the trailer will clear. Then we'll pull in, get this dropped off, and be done. So hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out. Ooh. Never mind. We need to swing that out quite a bit more. Alright, that's mildly annoying. Swing it out like this, and then hopefully when I come back around it will have swung out far enough that I can get it up into here. Because it's so long that you have to give it extra room to get through the things. Alright, I think that's gonna work this time. So anyways, as I was trying to say, I hope you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out to more viewers. The more we can get along for these rides, the better it will be. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you will be able to watch the video as soon as it becomes available. Alright, it made me think that I was in it. Lastly, I do have channel memberships available for those of you who have an interest in supporting the channel. You will get early access to all of my videos. In addition, what is this doing? Oh. Oh, because I dropped the trailer. Give it to me now. I would like just on the other side of it. All right, anyways, channel members do get early access to all of my videos in addition to several other perks depending on which tier you choose. So click that join button down below to check out what's available and decide if any of those are right for you. Again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys had lots of fun, and I'll see you for the next one.